Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Tactical Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. For those that are not familiar with who it is that I am, my name is Ricky. I run the largest YouTube channel and the largest private Facebook group for those who day trade in the stock market. This is our Sunday Stock Talk where we come together as a team and we simply break down the top stocks that you all see value in. So we do this on a weekly occasion every single Sunday at 6:30 p.m. So I really do appreciate you guys taking time out of your Sunday to tune in. As you guys can see right here, we have the live chat. I'm going to keep this Sunday Stock Talk super simple. If you want me to break down the top stock that you see value in, I only ask you for one thing, right? And I ask you to plan out your trade ahead of time to ensure that you've done your own due diligence and that it's not just a ticker symbol that you are sharing and hoping to get my 2 cents on. I want to make sure that before I share my 2 cents with you, that you have done your own due diligence and have developed your own opinion, right, about the specific stock and why you see value in it. That simple, right? I really hope that throughout this video, I earn your thumbs up. And again, don't forget to join our free Facebook group with the first link down below. If you guys have any questions throughout this video or would like to, connect, I do have my phone number down below, which you guys are more than welcome to just simply send me a text. So one of the things that I want to talk about is I'm going to break down the top 10 stocks that, the members first see value in, right? But with that being said, before, due to all this news that is being, released about oil and the unfortunate so if you guys are not aware of the news, we could keep it super simple, right? And one of the things that I want you guys to pay attention to is I have a huge focus on commodities. This doesn't mean that you should as well at all, right? It's just the niche that I'm really focused on. And I trade crude oil, right? I trade UWT. I trade UWT and DWT, and it was very, very unfortunate due to what happened over the weekend. But due to the attack on the Saudi oil facility, right? There was if I'm not mistaken, it was what's it called? I don't want to say bombing, but it was like missiles, right? And they bombed this like Saudi oil refinery. And to put it into perspective, to put it in like Google search it, read more articles about it, and then you'll learn a little bit more about what exactly is going on. But because of that, crude oil shot up. Easiest way for me to put it. This is where it closed at on Friday. The future markets open at around 2 to 3 p.m. here in Arizona, right? So Pacific Standard Time. So you can see the huge push that it had. As of right now, I just want to share this with you. As of right now, crude oil, the future itself, is up 10.37%. This means that UWT, right, should then be up. If this holds, if /CL holds, because UWT is a triple leverage, right, it should be above 30% in the green at market open. This is going to be crazy, right? A very similar occurrence happened for natural gas, right? Natural gas shot up as well due to this occurrence, right? This thing pushed up about 1.6, about almost 2% at the highest point. And again, then it's 3 times in favor of you guys, right? Gold pushed up as well. This is where it closed out on Friday, and it's up about 1%. So that's about 3% for JNUG, right? So you guys need to understand the future itself, and then what correlates on over to the ETF or the ETN. It's very unfortunate, right? I know a lot of people are going to begin to talk about it, but due to this occurrence, again, then that means that the overall market is down. The future is down 1%, which means that SQs and TQs should follow at about 3%. So whatever it is that you are trading, if it's influenced by the Nasdaq, S&P 500, or Dow Jones, then most likely you're gonna open up Monday in the red. I just wanted to clear things up. I will go much more in detail about this Monday morning. I'm really sorry for having to break this down. We've just been getting so many messages. I wanted to keep it super simple with talking about the futures and what pushed up, what pushed down, what to pay attention to, and stuff like that. I hope that that's something that at least make sense to you guys, and you guys can at least mentally prepare yourself for this upcoming week. One of the simple things that I want to say to all of our beginner traders, the market, because of this news, right, and because of this like attack on the said refiners, the market is most likely going to be a little bit more volatile this week than it normally is. What does this mean? I'm empowering you and I'm reminding you that you don't have to trade every single day. You don't have to trade at all next week. If you see the volatility to be too crazy, if you see there to be inconsistencies, don't be afraid to just sit back, watch, and learn. There's no reason that you should put yourself in a bad situation. Stick to your criteria, just like Drew Fit is saying, right? Be selective, and if there's a lot of inconsistencies, then just simply step away, right? Yes, you can make a lot of money with volatility, but just as much as you can lose as well. So ask yourself, are you trying to make it or break it, or are you still learning? And if you're still learning, but the market then begins to pick up and it becomes inconsistent, then maybe it's not the worst idea to just sit back, relax, and nothing wrong with watching and learning, and maybe paper trading or simulation trading, just again to still immerse yourself within the market. So just wanted to make sure that I hopefully lead you guys in the right direction with the understanding, and mentally prepare yourself for what's to probably come this week. So let's go ahead and start breaking down your guys' top stocks. So I really do appreciate that. Sorry for going in such a tangent. I just wanted to make sure that I cleared everything up, and I talked about, whoa, come on. Okay. Thank you, TD Ameritrade. That was very amazing. Yeah. Very interested to see how the week plays out. Of course. Here we go. All right, let's go ahead and break down this one. So Roku, here we go. Alrighty, so 180-day chart. Let's go ahead and pull this up. What's going on, Reyes? Okay. So I like the overall direction, right? So it's been showing signs of an uptrend pattern. Again, if you want to grow your account, it makes sense why to trade or invest in patterns that are showing signs of growth. So I think that's something that we can all say about Roku right now, that it's been showing signs of consistent growth. It peaked at about 176, right? Pulled back, and MACD and all that is indicating signs that, hey, this thing might be oversold. Yeah, it still has a little bit more margin that it can give back. So just a little heads up on that. But it definitely is, if we were to say, we talk about this all the time, the 3 stages of a reversal. It peaked, right? Rejection, consolidation. So it's not really making lower lows anymore, which is something that you want to pay attention to, but it's definitely not making higher highs. So I'm going to set my alert for the break above the EMA line. And again, don't feel so rushed to get in right away. Again, I think it makes most sense. If you've ever had an experience like this, where if you do wait for confirmation, to wait till the action begins to actually happen, right? With that, it becomes a much more efficient trade, which then becomes much more enjoyable. So overall margin of profit, once we get that confirmation, definitely a little bit over 10%. So I'm going to set my series of alerts here, but just as much as it can go up, it can go down as well, right? So I'm going to set my alert for the break below 140, as anything can happen. But I think we're off to a good start. I really like the setup. Now it's just being patient enough and waiting for the confirmation. I think that we can all agree on that. So I can see why a lot of people can add, would want to add that to your, watch list. So here we go. So we got David. Appreciate you tuning in, David. Here we go. TRNX. Here we go. Okay, so this one looks like it's gone through a couple of reverse stock splits. So I'm just sharing based off my opinion. It's a strong descending pattern. This would not meet any of my criteria. I don't like trading lower cap stocks anymore, and this would definitely fall under the criteria of like a penny stock. And I'm familiar with TRNX. Overall, it is trying to show signs of an uptrend. It's just so consistently been selling off that like anything can happen with this, right? So a big focus for me here would be the overall SMA line. If were to even find anything attractive about this, is it's showing signs of growth, but the SMA line can be acting as a potential resistance. So I would make sure that, we wait for confirmation of higher highs, and a big focus on me, especially with these lower cap stocks, would be overall direction, and I definitely would not feel comfortable holding any of this overnight. It would be solely a day trade, if that. So here we go. Hey, what's going on, Jesus? So I don't trade options. So I don't know if that's something that you thought I did, but I don't trade options. But you can Google search it or YouTube search it. Yeah, so I learn a little bit more about it that way. But here we go. Ricky Forex? No, I don't trade Forex either, but I appreciate you asking. BLDR. You guys are funny today. BLDR. Here we go. So overall uptrend pattern, right? Consistently showing signs of an uptrend. I like that. One of my biggest focuses, I like the overall direction. I like that it's been making higher highs. I find all that to be attractive. But again, it's all about having criteria, right? Like when it comes down to an investment. So view yourself as an investor. Would you take advantage of any opportunity? No, because not every opportunity has a margin of profit that might be worth your time and your effort and your money, right? So this pretty much meets all my criteria, except for the idea that it's not a good deal and the margin of profit is not worth it, right? Look how overbought it is. It makes more sense based off previous patterns on why it can, actually begin to pull back rather than continue to uptrend. So because of that, I would set my alerts down here, and I would rather be alerted when it is a much more attractive price and a better deal than hoping that it continues to push up when we already know that, it's overbought and overextended. So I appreciate the call out. I just think that it's kind of too overextended in my eyes. Just sharing my 2 cents with you. NTEC. Here it goes. Another lower cap stock, something that I would not trade, right? So I could see maybe this one popped up in one of your scanners. It popped up about 27%. It's just not something that I care to trade. Just as much as it goes up, usually based off previous patterns, it'll go down even that much quicker. It is approaching the SMA line, so with this one, again, treating it day by day, we can look at the 1 day, 1 minute chart and see that, wow, how is it that you can trade these lower cap stocks, a little bit more effectively. One of the big focuses is overall direction, right? You guys could see that it still has this pattern of how it uptrends, and as long as it continues with that overall pattern and it continues, if you do wait for it to sell off, get confirmation and wait for the push up, that's an approach. I just have found it in my experience with these lower cap stocks. Sometimes they're a little bit too quick when it comes down to the movement, and literally, 10 cents on a $1 stock is 10%, and that's just too volatile for me with how much I'm trading with. So I wouldn't touch this myself, but I can see why people that maybe have a little bit less money, that are trading with less money, can then find this attractive. I just want to remind you that, again, with greater risk comes potentially greater reward, right? Just as much as you can make, you can most likely lose as well. So it just doesn't meet my criteria. I don't like the direction. I don't like that it's not a good deal, and I don't like that it's a lower cap stock. So, but I appreciate the call out. Here we go. Celeb Daily. Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully we earn your thumbs up. Here we go. AMD. So AMD overall, I think this one's going to be very interesting to keep an eye on tomorrow. Overall, very consistent uptrend pattern. I would say that this one would follow the market pretty closely, and because of current market conditions and the overall market pullback that we're going to see on Monday, you can look at /NQ and see that NASDAQ is pulling back and the S&P 500 is pulling back, all of that stuff, right? All the futures. So most likely we're going to see a pullback. So because of that, I think when it comes down to overall just normal stocks, if this news continues, it's probably going to be better for, let's say myself, if I wanted to invest in just normal stocks, especially ones that are going to be influenced by the negative news. It's probably going to be best for me to hold back, allow them to sell off, and maybe when the direction is more in my favor and they're viewed as better deals, then that can be my plan for action, right? As of right now, I think it's going to be a very interesting week with potential sell-offs, especially right now. So it was showing signs of an uptrend, and the overall SMA line acted as a support. now the overall SMA line is acting as a resistance, as you can see here. So look at the MACD, look at the RSI, and look at previous resistance levels. So I would say that it has more margin to sell off than it does to actually increase in price, since it's not a current uptrend pattern. So that's my 2 cents. So we've just done 5 breakdowns. We're going to do 5 more. So here we go. Just a friendly little reminder. I really do appreciate all of you guys tuning in. I did ask you if you do want me to break down the stock that you see value in, just to simply post it in the ticker call out format. That's simple. If you can't do that, then I can't break it down for you. And Ismail right here is posting the ticker call out. So I hope that that's, again, you do your own due diligence, and then I would be more than happy to break it down for you. If you can't do that for yourself, then I really don't think I'm going to be able to help you. DB, right? So DB, very simple breakdown here. So I don't like how inconsistent this is. There's no true direction. Right now it is trending up, but it's so overbought based off previous price points. You don't have to be super good at technical analysis to be able to see that, hey, based off previous patterns, yeah, it is uptrending, but it is also so overextended. It's not a good deal. And in comparison to how much more it can continue to go up, it has more to lose than, in my eyes, based off previous patterns, than to actually gain. So because of that, I would send my loads, and I think that this thing would be in the very early stages of getting ready to consolidate and then pull back. So, but again, anything can happen. Yeah, it can continue to uptrend, and I think that's great, but it's still not worth the trade for me because it's just still so overbought in my eyes. So, here we go. So we got Twitter. Appreciate you, Bob. Thank you. Alrighty. Again, I think that it's going to be very interesting to see how the overall market opens. Twitter wasn't too affected by overall market conditions recently, as you guys can see, /NQ, right? This pretty much represents the overall market and how it's been moving. You can see that there's a huge sell-off due to the negative news, right? If you guys haven't paid attention to that, you guys can see that on the 1-day, 1-minute chart, right? Strong descending pattern. So when talking about Twitter, I would still wait and see how it reacts to this negative news. If it opens up in the red and if the market overall continues to sell off, then will most likely Twitter follow, right? It's been a nice uptrend pattern. It is around the SMA line, and I can see why on the simple technical, analysis, right? It 100% makes sense that it's potentially in the very early stages of an overall reversal. I do want to remind you that technicals can only go so far, especially when there's news that is factored in. News overall, right? Actual fundamentals, right? Will always take over when technicals, technicals will then take over when news becomes less relevant. But as of right now, this is fresh and hot news, and we'll most likely see the news take over. And once it begins to kind of fade and there's less attention to that, then maybe we can begin to see a slow recovery. So I'm just going to set my alert for the sake of it. I don't think that it's going to come anytime soon, and I think that this is going to be a great week for a lot of traders to challenge their patience and test themselves, right? Well, if you see the overall market selling off, this is going to be a huge test for you guys. So I think that that's going to be it. So Ricky, what's your opinion on LXRX? I just want to remind you, Mario, that it's not in the ticker call up format. So I can't break it down for you if you can't do your own due diligence first. So here we go. So we got ticker symbol G. And I don't mean that to be in a negative way. I swear, I hope that you guys know. I need you guys to do your own due diligence, just so I know that you have your own opinion first before I share mine, right? Overall, nice uptrend pattern. I like this. Again, I'm just being super repetitive. Please wait and see how this reacts to the overall market opening. Yeah, it makes sense on why. Again, 3 stages of reversal: rejection, consolidation, and then what we would be normally waiting for is confirmation. But due to this news, I would be very careful with when you enter, right, and see if it's actually going to be influenced. So I'll set my alert on both sides, and the margin of profit is about 5% based off previous patterns. So I could 100% see why you might find this to be attractive. I would just say that, it's going to take some time. So I don't understand how people still ask for your opinion without using the format. Yeah, it's just different for people. I feel like people usually just are okay with, hey, asking for assistance. We just get so many people that ask, right, that I want to be, a little bit different. I don't want to just, be like, hey, how can I help you? But I need you to explain like what your idea is of why you can find something to be a good deal. Like, why is this stock that you are paying attention to even considered a good deal for you? So I just want you to share that information with me, because with that information, I know that you've done your own due diligence and you at least have some form of understanding of what's kind of going on. And that's all I want. I want you to be better than the average person, right? And it can rub some people the wrong way. But ultimately, I think it's kind of just, me hoping that I'm actually empowering you to do something good for yourself and not for anyone else but yourself. So overall, shop, nice ascending uptrend pattern. It pulled back, broke below the SMA line. Again, I would be very, very careful with how this is going to react to the overall market. Had a pretty aggressive sell-off, and again, it's trading below the overall SMA line. So yeah, it does have margin to potentially recover, but it kind of broke its pattern on the 180-day chart where it was such a consistent uptrend pattern, and now it's trading below the SMA line. So all my alerts are set here, and I wouldn't touch it until then, but I appreciate the breakdown. So here we go. I'm going to do 2 more, and then I'm going to call it a live stream. As you guys could probably hear from my voice, I'm really tired. And we have a lot of people asking for their 2 cents. So I just want to remind you, please, this is just a simple little reminder. If you're part of Learn Plan Profit, simply go to the group alerts and make sure that you tag me. Post the ticker call out format and then tag me, and I will direct message you. If you're part of Tech But Solutions, go to the watch list section and do not forget to tag me and post it in the ticker call out format. If I don't get to your breakdown within this live stream, I just want to remind you, I'll be dedicating some time later tonight to catch up on that stuff. So we have one of our members that, so for this fight, okay, appreciate you tuning in. So we got ticker symbol GE. So General Electric overall, I would say that the pattern is not very consistent, right? There was a pretty consistent pattern where it's kind of just almost a horizontal pattern flatlining here. It aggressively sold off, it began to recover, now it's overbought, and it would make sense on why it could get rejected around this. Again, it's not exact price points, it's around this like general range of where the SMA line is at. So I'd be very careful with this. So I want to see if it actually begins to make higher highs, how it's influenced by this negative news, right? And to see if it actually begins to pull back. And if it does, then it might be in the very early stages of a peak formation where it then begins to sell off and get rejected. So I appreciate you, sharing that with me. So SEDG. Here we go, SEDG. So I like the overall uptrend pattern. It's been selling off after it peaked out at around $90, right? So it's right around the SMA line. Again, please wait till the overall and see how this reacts to the overall market pullback. I would set my alerts. So I like to keep things super simple, right? I like the pattern, I like the direction, and I understand why you're now paying attention to this. What is it doing now that is not attractive? Why did you find this thing to be attractive? Because it was showing signs of growth. Asking yourself, is it now showing signs of growth? No. So not until it then begins to confirm, the previous patterns tend to repeat themselves. You don't have to. So until it actually begins to show signs of growth, then I think that we can both agree that it probably is not in our best interest to get into it until we get that confirmed growth, right? So I'm going to set my 2 alerts here, and until this thing begins to make higher highs, then I would feel much more comfortable paying a little bit more attention to it and to see if I can actually trade it and stuff like that. So definitely, I understand why you see value in this, the margin of profit, the overall pattern. It's in the very early stages of a potential reversal, but again, just as much as it could go up, it could go down. So what can you simply do to become part of the 5% who actually makes money in the market? Be different, be patient, be selective, and take a trade when it makes sense to you, not when someone else is telling you. So I think those are simple little points that can hopefully guide you in the right direction. Here we go. So we got David Munoz. I'm going to do this one, and I have some final words that I want to say before we close out the stream, and I hope that you guys can stay tuned to that. Overall, MSFT, very consistent uptrend pattern. Can I get your guys' 2 cents on this real quick? What is going on right now? So it was showing signs of growth before. This is Microsoft, right? What is it doing now that it was not doing before? So if I were to ask you, point out the direction. Is this an uptrend pattern now? Is this a descending pattern? Or is this a horizontal pattern? Consolidating. no higher highs. It's not increasing in price anymore, and it's consolidating. It almost looks like it's hitting a resistance. Do you guys see this? You guys are all right. It doesn't mean that like people are right or you are wrong, and that it can continue to uptrend. I'm just pointing out a very simple, observation of Microsoft hasn't really been increasing in price for like the past 3 to 4 months. It's been hitting a wall of resistance. And because of this, it's like, yeah, you can buy the lows and sell the highs, and I get that. But it could also mean that it's probably in the very early stage of maybe a potential pullback, right? Or it's just consolidating and then it will continue to uptrend. But I think this is great to point out, because then if it begins to consolidate for too much, then you might want to ask yourself that, hey, this maybe isn't the best thing that I want to pay attention to right now, especially if you're going with the approach of maybe swing trading or actually investing. This isn't viewed to be a good deal, right? It's not viewed to be showing signs of growth, so it doesn't meet all your criteria. And this is pretty much what I wanted to end it with, right? We see that the market has become so like crazy lately, and this shouldn't be something that like should scare you. I feel like so many people, and I get it if you're new to the market, 100%. It is scary from time to time, but the only thing that's like scary is the not knowing, right? Not knowing what's going on. But altogether, it's like we can't do anything about what's to come in the future. All we can do is simply try to prepare for it and set ourselves up for success. I'm pretty sure I have the link down below. I think a lot of you guys probably already have it, but it's my swing trading and day trading checklist. I actually don't have it in the description anymore. I'm going to try to see if I can pull it up right now. But all this is, it's free, first of all. It's just like a PDF, and it covers very simple little things like that I like to focus on, kind of like a criteria checklist, right? Like when it comes down to, think about it like as an investor for real estate, right? When you go and inspect a house, you're going to want it to meet certain criteria based off of your portfolio and what it has to meet for it to be a qualified investment, right? For you and in your style and all that stuff. So I simply share, this is going to be my day trading checklist. So it's a checklist that I created that is just to hopefully get in the right direction. I don't want you to copy everything. It's you're not going to see value most likely in everything that I talk about, because we all see value in different ways. I just posted the link on the live chat, so hopefully some of you guys can click on it. But what I want you guys to pay attention to is how important it is to have criteria, how important it is to work towards building a set list of criteria. A lot of you guys are just starting out right now, and some of you guys might be scared because of the current market condition. Just think about it this way, right? If you guys learn how to be selective, and if you guys actually learn how to invest and trade during this current market condition, which could be viewed as a little volatile, right? Not a little, but sometimes a lot. Just imagine how much, I don't want to say easier it's going to be for you, but how much less stressful it's going to be when the market isn't so choppy. Just empower yourself. Like, we can't do anything about the position that we're put in right now. All you can do is try to just work with it and make the best of it. So get some coffee. It's on me. David, what's going on? I don't drink coffee, but I really do appreciate you. Thank you again for that. Hope you're having an amazing Sunday. But you guys know that I'm here to try to empower you to, be the best person that you can be in any market. And I think the more that you inform yourself in any market, right, the less scary it becomes. So it's a very simple question that I want you to ask yourself, right? This week, you're going to be tested with volatility. You're going to be tested with inconsistency, and you're going to be tested to take a trade when not all your criteria is being met. I want to challenge you to be aware of this, to not be afraid to step away, to not be afraid to not take a trade, and to not be afraid to simply watch and learn, right? Observe. There's nothing wrong with that. I want to empower you to find your own niche. I found my niche trading ETFs, and I paid attention to futures, and it works well for me. But at the end of the day, I want you guys to understand whether you succeed or you fail. I want you to understand what happened, and I only want you to put yourself in a position where you have a reason behind every entry and every exit. We have a very simple saying that we try to empower our newer traders, entrepreneurs, and investors. It's, what are you doing today that your future self is going to thank you for, right? Or do something today that your future self is going to thank you for. And I think that every single time that you step up to the plate and that you think that you are ready to take a trade, I just want to remind you that, again, the dollar amount that you're trading with right now is not what you could or will be trading with 5 or 10 years down the road, right? So why are you trying to make it or break it right now? There's no reason to. Be empowered to learn, enjoy the process, and just know that you have nothing but time. I don't care how old you are. It's like you have time, and you have nothing but time to like learn, enjoy the process, and make money. We can worry about making money later. I want you to focus on learning, finding your niche, and then working with people that make you feel of value and that you're doing something with it. You know, that you're doing something that is worthwhile. So if that's with us, then great. You know, we'd love to have you as a part of the team. If that's with someone else, then I think that's absolutely amazing. You work with people that, you know, your inner circle, whatever group that you're a part of, whatever team you choose to join, just be happy with who it is that you surround yourself with. I really do appreciate, you know, your guys' time, regardless if you guys see value in my videos or not, right? I just appreciate you guys tuning in. I really just want to remind you to be extremely selective this week and to not be afraid to not take a trade. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how this week plays out and how we are going to be challenged every day, especially for us day traders. So really do appreciate you guys' time. I really hope that I earned your thumbs up in this video. I'm going to post it one more time in the little live chat for those that didn't capture or get the link for the e-tips ebook, which is my day trading criteria. It's free, right? If you guys have any questions, again, my number is down below. Simply send me a text and we can kind of go from there. I'm going to be trading live tomorrow at Market Open with the Learn Plan Profit Group. So again, if you would like to learn a little bit more about that and being able to work with me, that's the only team that I work with. And again, that's that second link below if that's of value to you. Really do appreciate your guys' time. I wish you guys an amazing and blessed rest of your Sunday. And like always, let's make sure that we end the overall week on a green note. Take it easy, team.